I plan on discussing the art of storytelling.
Oh, that's a fun topic. Let's get into it.
We all appreciate those friends or those individuals that we have in our life that are able to have good storytelling skills. Is storytelling a skill or something that someone is born with?
I am like really interested in this topic because storytelling to me is an art. Because if you're able to tell a really good story, you can really make some big impact. Whether it's community, whether it's your following, whether it's social media, whether it's something political, whether it's like a government or if it's like friends and family, like the ability to tell a story, to persuade someone, to draw someone in and hit them with the points, hit them with the details, and then just kind of like storytelling is kind of like cinema. Like, it's just like it's very theatrical. That's actually one of the things that I want to get better at is storytelling, and I find storytelling to be so like what's the word? Just it's so expressful and it's very powerful and it's amazing. It's really those that are really good at it. Those are the people that you need to like learn from them too.
So you're saying you can go far in life if you have the ability to tell a story.
100%. Absolutely.
How would you rate your storytelling abilities?
Okay, so give me a scale. What's a like a 0 to 10 scale? Like what
Yes,
you
sir.
tell me.
Zero to 10.
Zero being what? Oh,
Uh,
we're just defining, right? So you tell me. So 0 and 10, like
okay, so zero being nothing at
I'm
all.
asked. Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, to 10 being wow, like politician level.
I will never be a politician. Throughout the years, I give myself a 4 out of 10. There's storytelling I want to get really good at, but I would say I have my moments. But in terms of storytelling, I still fumble with words. Kind of what like we talked about. It's just one of the things I want to improve is just having the ability to public speak, having the ability to persuade someone, right? Perfect examples are sales pitch, right? So people they're like they set up their shop and they're like, they ask like a million people, but they only get like 10 customers. Is those types of things that you want to get good at. It's like, you take all the reps and you practice, right? So storytelling is not only an art, is also something you have to practice a lot. You have to get all the repetition in. And I feel like um, those sales pitch or those people selling stuff, if you're going to like Walmart and they're like setting up shop, internet or Comcast or whatever that is, like you have to persuade someone because like if I'm at Walmart, you try to program like, nah, man, I gotta buy some groceries. Like I'm not gonna waste my time. Like you gotta captivate them. You gotta like catch their attention. So I think that's really really cool.
So storytelling to you is a skill that when you practice on becomes an art form.
In a way, yes. So storytelling is definitely an art, your craft, and then it develops as a skill. Like storytelling is very profound and it's very unique to each individual.
Who's the best storytelling individual that you currently know?
I would say one of my best friends from college.
Oh, okay.
So the reason he's good is that storytelling, you have to know your audience, right? Whether you draw attention to certain buzzwords, whether they're political avenues left or right, whether it's their personalities, do they like to be loud, do they prefer to be like calm and quiet, setting, environmental aspect, those are all like all consideration. You need to know your audience to be an effective storyteller, I would say. And so my friend does a really good job. He knows his audience. He know how to talk to them in ways that they would be more intrigued. It kind of sparks their interest and then gets them to listen to the story, right? So specific whether it's specific moments, a specific part of life, a snapshot of light, a highlight, a memory. It's just those things are very important. So actually, the best storytellers are comedians. I say that because they're literally, this might be cliche, but Kevin Hart, right? He's the first comedian to perform at Madison Square Garden, which is however many seats or whatever. Like, Kevin Hart knows his audience. He knows how to deliver. He knows the line, right? Like, he knows what to say. And he knows that his audience will react to a certain topic. People like that. Like, I'm not, my friend is no Kevin Hart, but like, the idea of just like, Kevin Hart knows his audience. He knows how to make people laugh, and he gets these fans by telling his story.
So your friend resembles in that area.
Yes, yes, yes. Like, to be a comedian, you have to tell. You everyone probably knows with comedians, like, comedians tell a lot about their stories. They talk about their personal life, and so you have to. They use their personal life to draw attention and to kind of spark interest. Oh, like, this is kind of what I do. Oh, like, that's a really funny moment, and then that draws people to you. So I think that's really cool. I really like this topic today. I'm like really excited.
Thank you. Do you feel like comedians are basically paid storytellers?
Yeah, they're it's their art, and then as as they get better with time and as they progress, they make it a skill and it becomes second nature and it's just a paycheck. But I mean, being a comedian is tough. Like, comedian gig is really really tough. Like, you have to work. I think I might have seen documentaries, but like, you have to really really grind, and you may start from absolutely not getting anything and then becoming a really big star that ran a comedian show with Madison Square Garden like Kevin Hart. It's a grind. Like, storytelling, like I said, is an art. It takes time to develop your craft, your idiosyncrasies, your style, and the way that you just captivate people by words. And words are very important to have such. So flow is also important, but to use words eloquently and like to be sophisticated, like, that's draws people to you. Like, vocabulary is also very important as well.
Can you be rated as a good storyteller by your peers, but you don't have any expression skills?
It just makes the story boring, right? Like, you don't want some like monotone, like, oh, like, something happened here, ha ha ha. Like, it's you're and like, maybe some people are like that, and then you draw that specific crowd of people. But like, storytelling, there has to be some form of excitement, right? Whether it's something really funny, something very serious, a horror story. Like, just there's so many different genres of storytelling. Whether it's personal life too, right? You there's so many avenues where you can go with that. But if in the sense of your question, like, that's kind of boring. Like, you need to captivate your audience.
Do you feel like there's a certain age before someone's storytelling abilities is just not going to advance?
I actually think is as we age, we get better because we experience. So we consume time. We age. We get older. We've seen lots of changes, even like with this current economy and this current state and this state of government, right? So we just learn so much and we see so much, and as we get older, I feel like as people get older, their storytelling abilities gets better with over time because they've just experienced so much and they've seen the world and they've seen it through their own eyes, and they have their own reactions and their own personal unique experiences that they felt, their specific emotion, how they feel about certain things. Like, it all accumulates to as we get older, and it just compiles, and how to tell your story.
Knowing you have a great deal of respect for your friends, those in your friend group. But was there ever a time when you and your friends had to listen to another friend who just wasn't good at the art of storytelling? Like, you guys listened due to out of respect, but the audience knew that, like, yeah, like, this certain individuals struggling telling the story. But due to our connection with them, we're going to listen because we respect them.
Right, right. And to me, like that's a really good point. Especially this becomes difficult when you're with a larger group of people, right? You have to engage the rest. So like one on one, everyone's perfect with one on ones, right? If it's like 2-3 people, even better. But as the circle get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, you really have to find something in common and draw that attention, where that all the attention's on you. And so, there are some people, and I was one of them, surely enough, and I just kept watching how good storytellers interact, and I kept watching, taking notes, taking mental notes, and just understanding how they do it so well. And so it takes a good eye, and I'm still fine tuning what I'm seeing, but it's definitely you have to see a lot of good storytellers to be a good storyteller, and most importantly, hone your craft.
Was there ever a time someone that you knew went from being unable to give a story to being one of the best storytellers that you know? Like he struggled with the craft, but then he upped it to where he became pretty good?
Yes, and part of storytelling too is what I've kind of read and like done some research is that people with a mic, whether it's comedian or someone like there's a powerful thing with hand gestures. So being able to enunciate or kind of make gestures with your hands, hand gestures are really really important for storytelling too, because it excites things, and you're more focused, I guess is the word. But there's lots of research with like storytelling, and then the act of using your hand, like hand gestures, can be a powerful tool for storytelling.
So eventually, you're trying to become a better storytelling individual yourself.
Just a better storytelling, sure, but just a better, just my goal is to be a better spokesperson and to just have a good flow. But storytelling, I feel like it takes time, and I don't really care too much about myself, because like I am just innately very good at just opening up and talking about a lot of things. But I don't. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't really care what people think of my storytelling abilities. I just know that I have that ability to interact with a lot of people, with any people. So I'm don't have that problem. But yeah, absolutely. Like I think getting better at public speaking, and which also can be part of storytelling too. And weddings, whether you're giving a speech, like those are important too. So
There's different avenues of storytelling. There's
yes,
public speaking. There's comedy, like what we described. There's being a politician.
in a wedding, I spoke for one of my friends that got married, and like best man speech, like those are all like different avenues.
See, that's that. Then if you gave us if you gave a speech at a wedding, then I don't think you're rated 4 out of 10.
Huh?
If you gave a speech at a wedding, I don't think you're 4 out of 10. As
What,
far as
what would that look like?
Yeah, because you said politicians 10.
yeah, because yeah,
Speaking at a wedding.
speaking of a wedding, I think you're 7 or 8 out of 10.
You
Like
think?
when you move on to 8, 9, 10, those are people with storytelling abilities to where like they have a major platform, like your Joe Rogans,
Oh, late night hosts are perfect
your
examples.
late night hosts, your comedians, your politicians. Those are your 8 through 10.
Yeah.
But if you're able to give average individuals, average Joes, if they're able to give a speech at a wedding, you're easily a 7. Because then that's just a glimpse of what you're able to do if you up that skill set.
I've spoken once at a friend's wedding, but
Okay.
I think I'm planning. I think I'm planning to do more speeches
Oh,
for
okay.
weddings. So I've done a good job on my first one. I was pretty proud of myself.
How long did you speak for?
7 minutes.
That's very impressive.
Wow.
That's very impressive.
I think like the extra minutes because like I teared up. Like, it's my boy, so I think that added a little time to it. But yeah, it was someone recorded it. It was about 7 minutes. but but you know, that particular speech was like, everyone was like, wow, like this was a really good speech. So like, I've kind of unlocked that skill, I guess. But I like speaking like that. So
Mm.
especially if it's like a dear friend of mine, like I'm happy to give a speech.
Do you feel like storytelling is one of those hidden potentials you have within that eventually you just gotta get unlocked to be the better version of yourself?
Unlock and repetition, lots of rep. And I feel like that's perfect for me because I'm a physical therapist and I meet new people every single day. And to build that therapeutic alliance, like you need to be like, you need to listen to their story
Mhm.
and take notes, and like whether they're monotonous or boring, or like you also need to pay attention because like they're gonna what drives business. If you can't get them, then they're gonna walk out the door. And so understanding where they come from, where they're at, like you need to pay attention, listen to their story because their story is what led you to come to them, for you to come to help with rehab, right? So it's important to listen to everyone's story.
How important is reading when it comes to storytelling?
I don't read, and I find that funny because I kind of mentioned earlier in the video of like vocabulary, but I had a pretty good educational system. I know some big words, GRE words, as whatever crap that is, but um, one thing that I'm trying to do better this year is actually read myself and listen to audiobooks. Is one of the things I want to start doing more. And I've bought a lot of books about like self improvement to improve myself. So I've bought some few books like that.
Like even with me with this podcast, right? For me to start attracting a wider range of audience, certain demographics, certain vocabulary terms have to be used
Right.
to
Right.
start attracting those range of people
Hmm.
that are gonna start listening to the podcast. So even me, like this is a topic that hits home because even I'm gonna have to criticize myself and improve my certain way I ask questions, certain
Hmm.
vocabulary. So, and I've never been one that likes hearing myself talk.
Right. So like I could not do what you do. Like I
Yeah,
would be like, I don't want to see myself,
like
but
I'm
like
the I'm the
this is what you have
type.
to do.
Yeah, I'm the type. Once the episode is over, that's it. It's in the memory books. Move on. But
Right. Right.
for me to be like your Joe Rogans, your those breakfast.
The breakfast talk shows or whatever.
Yes, yes.
The Breakfast Club or whatever.
Yeah.
You hungry, man?
Yeah.
It's dinner. It's dinner time,
Hey,
man.
man, give me a sausage, man. Give me a sausage.
You want to get some Waffle House or something?
Oh man, you should dive into comedy. You should definitely.
No, absolutely. No politician, no comedian for me.
I feel like an underrated aspect of storytelling is the ability to listen. To listen.
I agree.
Just like how basketball, an underrated aspect is not just always being on the court, dribbling, shooting. You have to watch. You have to watch players who've played the game before you. Just observe the game for you to get better. So just like storytelling, an underrated aspect is to listen to people. The more you listen, the more you'll just learn certain words that you
Right.
feel like you were um, never tuned to. You take that now that's in your bag. So listening is a very underrated aspect of storytelling.
And that's exactly what I mentioned when you meet new people, like you have to listen. If you're my patient, I'm just like, okay, cool. What? Yeah. Can you say that again? I need to get this here. Like you need to active listening is very, very important. So like it's important. Like it's probably a big foundation of storytelling, like being able to listen, learning, right? Learning new words. How do they attack this phrase? How do they drive people? How do they connect people here? Like how do they do that? So I agree that listening is really important.
I
Actually, probably really, really important.
I feel like it's important, but I feel like it's just underrated. It's just like you won't think how important listening is when it comes to that because everyone wants to speak. Everyone wants to because I'm a believer of everybody wants to hear. Everybody has a story or numerous stories to say. So as humans, we're just so naturally wired to just wanting to be heard. But to those who actually listen, to those who are actually fans of listening, those are the ones that you actually those are the ones I feel like gravitate people.
Right.
Like those that are those that listen, because once they start speaking, everyone wants to listen, everyone wants to hear them.
Mhm.
So I feel like listening comes a long way.
I agree. That's very profound. I
But if
agree.
I'm to how would you rate um from most important to least important, the various factors that contribute to being an excellent storyteller? If we were to give 5 or even 3, how about 3?
Man, come on. Yeah, I 3, 5, man. That's a lot. Let's see. Three things. So from greatest to least.
To you, it doesn't even
Yes,
have to
yes,
be.
yes, yes, yes. Greatest to least. Number 1, knowing your audience. Number 2, understanding how to tell the story, whether to be serious, whether to be comedic, whether to be like sarcastic, like understanding those things. And then the third is the way that you present yourself. Those will be the 3, I guess. That's a very tough question. I feel like there's lots of aspects of storytelling, but I could probably give a better answer. But for now, from what I'm thinking, I think those are the 3.
Okay. Next time you come on the Convo Guy podcast, I'm gonna ask for your list.
Keep coming me out, man.
Okay.
I love coming here.
Me, I would say 1 is knowing your audience. I agree with your number 1, knowing your audience.
Mhm.
2, I would say how you interact with them, like your word usage, especially if you want to gravitate them. Because sometimes people may not even be listening to you entirely, but you say one word and now they're laughing. So 1, knowing your audience. 2, having a unique ability to relate to them.
Yes,
Having
that's a really good point. I agree.
Being able to relate to them, because just because you know your audience don't mean what you'll say they'll grasp. So you want to be able to relate to
Yes, that's a really important. Yeah, that's
the
good.
members in your audience. And 3, I would say, I want to say the listening aspect, but that's not fair for me to say that as number 3 since that's an underrated aspect. I would say
I would argue no. Go explain. I think that's. Go ahead.
I would say my number 3 would be expressing yourself, like the hands gesture, because I've seen some people give amazing stories just
Yeah.
no face expression.
Yeah.
But for you to actually get different reactions in the room, you got to be able to, like express the story, make it theater like.
It's theatrics, right? So our number 1, number 3 is the same.
Okay.
It is, yeah. We both said the same thing.
Okay.
Our number 3 and number 1, number 3.
And then I feel like stuff you could do on the side of you being a good storyteller, like those underrated aspect would be the art of listening, like listening.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, anything you wanna add to this topic?
No, this has been I think this is one of my favorite episodes to shoot about
Okay.
storytelling, because storytelling is a skill, and everyone will develop their craft, and storytelling is very powerful. So read books, watch people give good speeches, and learn from them, and you'll find successes in your way with your ability to tell a story. So this has been a very good podcast. I like this episode.
Do you feel like having an accent can make it difficult for you to say a story?
It might even enhance your story ability, because that's where you're from, right?
Mhm.
That's the individual's way of speaking, so it might enhance.
But not to the individuals that are from like the same background. Let's say it's just like a mixture of individuals.
Yeah.
And you having that accent, does it make the story complicating?
Maybe you can argue complicated, you can argue unique. I would lean towards the side of unique.
Okay. So it don't matter where you're from, if you have an accent or not.
As long as you know your audience, you know how to. What was it that you said? What did you say? You relate. If you have the ability to relate to them, it's a wrap, man.
Thank you, David, for this wonderful discussion.
Thank you.